Good day everyone, good day sir. I am Jeffrey Labra, BSNT student, section G2 here. I'm here to discuss Sadiq Watch 1, which is collision regulation. I'm here to discuss the topic 9, collision regulation 1972 part F, verification of compliance with the provision of the convention. Here's the learning outcomes 1.29. Determine the importance of new provision added in the 2016 amendments of Colregs 1972. Here's the course outcomes number 1. Demonstrate through knowledge and understanding of the content, application, and intent of the international regulation for preventing collision at sea 1972 as amendment. On the 1st of January 2016, IMO Resolution A108528 entered into force. This has introduced an amendment to International Regulation for Preventing Collision at Sea 1972 with Part F verification of compliance with the provision on the convention. Added Part F contained three new rules. Rule number 39 definition, rule number 40 application, rule number 41 verification of compliance. On rule number 39, they have four. Audit means a systematic, independent, and documented process for obtaining audit evidence and evaluating it objectively to determine the extent to which audit criteria are fulfilled. Audit scheme means the IMO member state audit scheme established by the organization and taking into account the guidelines developed by the organization. Code for implementation means the IMO Instrument Implementation Code number 3 adopted by the organization by Resolution A1070-28. Audit Standard means the code for implementation. On rule number 40, application. Contracting parties shall use the provision of the code for implementation in the execution of their obligation and responsibilities contained in the present convention. On rule number 41, verification of compliance. Every contracting party shall be subject to periodic audits by the organization in accordance with the audit standard to verify compliance with an implementation of the present convention. The Secretary General of the organization shall have responsibility for administering the audit scheme based on the guidelines developed by the organization.
Good morning everyone, my name is Kent Mendoza from BSMT J2 Air, and this is my report about Deck Watch 1 Collision Regulations. Topic 10, Annex 1, Positioning and Technical Details of Flight and Shapes. Definition 1. The term height above the hull means height above the uppermost continuous deck. This height shall be measured from the position vertically beneath the location of the light. Ships power-driven underway shall exhibit one masthead light forward, one masthead light above, off, and higher than the forward one, sidelines, one stern light. Definition 2. Vertical positioning and spacing of lights. On a power-driven vessels of 20 meters or more in length, the masthead lights shall be placed as follows. The forward masthead light, or if only one masthead light is carried, then the light at a height above the hull of not less than 6 meters, and if the breadth of the vessels exceeds 6 meters, then at a height above the hull not less than such breadth. So, however, that the light need to be placed at a greater height above the hull than 12 meters. On a vessels of less than 20 meters in the length, such lights shall be spaced not less than 1 meter apart, and the lowest of these lights shall except where a towing light is required, be placed at a height of not less than 2 meters above the gunwale. The vertical separation of the masthead lights of power-driven vessels shall be such that in all normal conditions of trim, the afterlight will be seen over and separate from the forward light at a distance of 1,000 meters from the stem when viewed from the sea level. The masthead light of a power-driven vessel of 12 meters but less than 20 meters in the length shall be placed at the high above the gunwale of less than 2.5 meters. A power-driven vessel of less than 12 meters in length may carry the uppermost light at a height of less than 2.5 meters above the gunwale when, however, a masthead light is carried in addition to side lights and a stern light, or the all-around light prescribed in Rule 23 is carried in addition to side lights, then such masthead light or all-around the light shall be carried at least 1 meter higher than the side lights. One of the 2 or 3 masthead lights prescribed for a power-driven vessel when engaged in towing or pushing another vessel shall be placed in the same position as either the forward. Definition 3. Horizontal positioning and spacing of lights. On a power-driven vessels of 20 meters or more in the length, side lights shall not be placed in the front of forward masthead lights. They shall be placed at or near the side of the vessel. When the light proceed or prescribed in Rule 27 or the Rule 28 are placed vertically between the forward masthead lights, and the after masthead lights, these all-around lights shall be placed at a horizontal distance of not less than 2 meters from the fore and aft center line of the vessel in the athwartship direction. 4. Details of location of direction indicating lights for fishing vessels, dredgers, and vessels engaged in underwater operations. The light indicating the direction of the outlaying gear from a vessel engaged in fishing as prescribed in Rule 26 shall be placed at a horizontal distance of not less than 2 meters and not more than 6 meters away from the 2 all-round red and white lights. 5. Definition 5. Screens for side lights. The side lights of vessels of 20 meters or more in length shall be fitted with inboard screens painted matte black and meeting the requirements of Section 9 of this annex. On vessels of less than 20 meters in length, the sidelines, if necessary, to meet the requirements of Section 9 of this annex shall be fitted with inboard matte black screens with a combined lantern using the single vertical filament and a very narrow division between the green and red sections. External screens need not to be fitted. 6. Shapes. Shapes shall be black and of the following sizes. A ball shall have a diameter of not less than 0.6 meter. A cone shall have a base diameter of not less than 0.6 meter and a height equal to its diameter. A cylinder shall have a diameter of at least 0.6 meters and a height of twice its diameter. Shape shall be all black and the following sizes. A diamond shape shall consist of 2 cones as defined in above, having a common base. The vertical distance between shapes shall be at least 1.5 meter. In a vessel of less than 20 meters in length, shapes of lesser dimensions but commensurate with the size of the vessels may be used and the distance apart may be correspondingly reduced. 7. Colors specification of lights. The chromaticity of all navigation lights shall conform to the following standards, which lie within the boundaries of the area of the diagram specified for each colored by the International Commissioner of Illumination. Number 8. Intensity of lights. The minimum luminous intensity of lights shall be calculated by using the formula. Number 9. Horizontal sectors. In the forward direction, side lights as fitted on the vessels shall show the minimum required intensities. The intensity shall decrease to reach particular cutoff between 1 and 3 outside the prescribed sectors. For stern lights and masthead lights, and at 22.5 above the beam for the side lights, the minimum required intensities shall be maintained over the arc of the horizon up to 5 within the limits of the sector prescribed in Rule 21. From 5 within the prescribed sectors, the intensity may decrease by 50% up to the prescribed limits. It shall decrease steadily to reach practical cutoff at not more than 5 Celsius outside the prescribed sectors. All around lights shall be so located as not to be obstructed by masts, topmasts, or structures within angular sectors of more than 6 Celsius, except anchor lights prescribed in Rule 30, which need to be placed at impractical height above the hull. 10. Vertical sectors. The vertical sectors of electric lights as fitted, with the exception of lights on sailing vessels underway, shall ensure that at least the required minimum intensity is maintained at all angle from 5 Celsius above to 5 Celsius below the horizontal. At least 60% of the required intensity is maintained from 7.5 above to 7.5 below the horizontal. In the case of sailing vessels underway, the vertical sectors of electrical light as fitted shall ensure that at least the required minimum intensity is maintained at all angle from 5 Celsius above to 5 Celsius below the horizontal. 11. Intensity of non-electrical lights. Non-electrical lights shall, as far as practicable, comply with the minimum intensities as specified in the table given in section 8 of this annex. 12. Maneuvering light. Notwithstanding the provisions of paragraph 2 of annex, the maneuvering light described in Rule U IB shall be placed in the same fore and aft vertical plane as the masthead light or lights, and where practicable at a minimum height of 2 meters vertically above the forward masthead light, provided that it shall be carried not less than 2 meters vertically above or below after masthead light. On a vessel where only one masthead light is carried, the maneuvering light it fitted shall be carried where it can be seen not less than 2 meters vertically apart from the masthead light. Number 13. Approval. The construction of the lights and shape and the installation of lights on board the vessel shall be certified of the appropriate authority of the state whose flag the vessel is entitled to fly. The masthead light of high-speed craft may be placed at a height related to the breadth of the craft lower than prescribed paragraph 2 of this annex. And that's all. Thank you.
Topic 10, Annex 1, Positioning and Technical Details of Light and Shape. Understanding the importance of marine navigation lighting, as well all modes of transport. The lighting system used by the night and are imperative to the vehicle. Safety. Ship need lighting system to the lighting system in place for a vessel is integral to the safe navigation of the vessel. The primary function of maritime navigation light is to aid prevention of any major accidents from happening. All boats, whether big or small, are required to have night lights as a part of the navigational system. The color of the lights that were required to be used as specified by set of rules. The three colors were chosen: red, green, and white. Even today, the marine navigational lighting consists of these three colors. There is a path in which these lights are set up on the ship and boat. There is a light at the right hand side of the boat, right side when facing the bow of the vessel, known as starboard side, which is green in color. 2. There is a light at the left hand side of the boat, left side when facing the bow of the vessel, is known as port side, which is color red. Both side lights shown unbroken lights over an arc of the horizontal of 112.5 degrees from the right ahead. It can view to 22.5 degrees. A white light also placed at the back of the boat, known as a stern side. The unbroken light over arc horizon of 135 light aren't just to indicate one's own status as a vessel for identification by other vessel in the vicinity, but also vice versa. The visibility range of such light varies between 3 miles or 6 miles. The light that are under ship and bigger boats have no longer range of visibility compared to small boats like light vessel navigation light. The Marine Safety Act requires the light must be displayed from sunset to sunrise and in times of restricted visibility during daylight hours. Minimum range at which lights can be seen refer to the condition on the dark night with a clear atmosphere. Power boats underway or drifting. Vessel under 12 meter in length must show the following lights: A. Side lights and all-round white light, or B. Side light, masthead light, and astern light. Vessel navigation light to be displayed. Reactional vessel at anchor. All reactional vessel must show an all-round white light while at anchor. If the vessel is drifting and underway but not making way, the vessel must be displayed. Sailing vessel underway or drifting. A sailing vessel underway must exhibit side lights and a stern light. If the vessel is less than 20 meter in length, the side light and the stern light may be combined. One lantern. Tricolor lantern carried at or near of the top. Sound and light signal.
Alimar Sabanal, based in TG2 Air. Week 13, Topic 10, Annex 1, Positioning and Technical Details of Lights and Ships. International Regulation of Preventing Collision at Sea. The term height above the hull means height above the uppermost continuous deck. This height be measured from the positioning vertically beneath the location of the light. vertical position and spacing of lights on a power driving vessel of 20 meters or more in length. The masthead lights shall be placed as follows. The vertical separations of masthead lights of the power driving vessel shall be such that in all normal conditions of trim, the afterlights will be seen over and separate from the forward lights at a distance of 1000 meters from steam view of sea vessel. And let's move to week 14, topic 10, Annex 1, positioning and technical details of lights and ships. In a vessel of less than 20 meters in length is shape of lesser dimension but commensurate with the size of the vessel may be used and the distance apart may be correspondingly reduced. Colors specific of lights: white, green, red, yellow. Intensity of light: horizontal sector, vertical sector. Maneuvering lights. Approval. And that's all. Thank you.
Good day, sir. I'm your student from Dickwats 1, Alan Bersabal Jr. Section G2R, subject Colregs. My topic is topic 10, annexes. Annexes is have a 4 subsection. Let's start from subsection 1, Annex 1. Positioning and technical details of lights and ships. Definition: the term high above the hull means height above the uppermost continuous deck. This height shall be measured from the position vertically beneath the location of the light. Subsection 2, vertical positioning and spacing of lights. A is for alpha. On a power-driven vessel of 20 meters or more in length, masted light shall be placed as follows. The forward masted lights, or if any only masted lights is carried, then the lights at the height above the hull of not less than 6 meters. And if the breadth of the vessels exceeds 6 meters, then the height above the hull not less than such breadth. So, however, that the light need to be placed at a greater height above the hull than 12 meters. When two masted lights are carried, the after one shall be at least 4.5 meters vertically higher than the forward one. B is for Bravo. The vertical separation of masted lights of power-driven vessels shall be such as not normal condition of trim. The upper lights should seen over the separation from the forward lights at the distance of 1000 meters from the stem when viewed from the sea level. C is for Charlie. The masted lights of a power-driven vessel of 12 meters but not less than 20 meters in length shall be placed at the height above of not less than 2.5 meters. D is for Delta. A power-driven vessel of less than 12 meters in length may carry the uppermost light of height of less than 2.5 meters above the gunwale. When, however, a masted light is carried in condition in additional to side lights and stern lights or the all-around lights prescribed in Rule 26 is carried in additional to side lights, then such as masted lights shall be carried at least 1 meter higher than the side. E is to echo one of the 2-3 masted lights prescribed for a power-driven vessel when engaged in towing or pushing another vessel shall be placed in the same position is either the forward masted lights or the after masted lights provided that if carry the aftermast, the lowest aftermasted light shall be at least 4.5 meters vertically height than the forward masted light. If is for fast track, the masted light or lights prescribed in rules 23 alpha shall be so placed as to be above the glare of all other lights and obstruction except the described in sub-paragraph. When it is impracticable to carry all around the lights described by Rule 27 Bravo or Rule 28 below, the mast headlights, they may be carried above the aftermaster lights or vertically in between the forward master lights and the aftermaster lights, provide that in the latter case the requirements of section 3 Charlie of Annex shall be complied. Golf. G is for golf. The side lights of power-driven vessel shall be placed at a height above the hull not greater than 3/4 of that forward masted light. These shall not be so low as to be entered by the deck lights. H is to hotel. The side lights. If the combined lantern is carried on the power-driven vessel of less than 20 meters in length, shall be placed not less than 1 meter below the masted lights. I is for India. When the rule prescribed 2 or 3 lights to be carried in vertical line, they shall space as follows. On a vessel of 20 meters in length or more, such lights shall be spaced not less than 2 meters apart, and the lowest of these lights shall, except that towing lights is required, to be placed at a height of not less than 4 meters above the hull. On a vessel of less than 20 meters in length, such lights shall be spaced not less than 1 meter apart. The lowest lights shall, except their towing and lights of required, be placed at a height of not less than 2 meters above the gunwale. They shall be equally spaced. G is to Juliet. The lower of the 2 all-around lights prescribed for vessel when engaged in fishing net shall be placed at a height above the side lights not less than twice the distance between 2 vertical lights. K is to Kilo. The forward anchor lights prescribed in rule number 30 when 2 are carried shall be not less than 4.5 meters above the after one. On a vessel 50 meters or more in length, its forward anchor lights shall be placed at a height of not less than 6 meters above the hull. Subsection 3. Horizontal positioning and spacing of lights. A is for alpha. When 2 masted lights are prescribed for a power-driven vessel, the horizontal distance between them shall not be less than 1/2 of length of the vessel, but need not be more than 100 meters. The forward light shall be placed not more than 1/4 of length of vessel from the stem. B is for Bravo. On a power-driven vessel of 20 meters or more in length, the side light shall not be placed in front of forward masted lights. These shall be placed at a near the side of the vessel. C is to Charlie. When the lights prescribed in Rule 27 Bravo or Rule 28 are placed vertically between the forward masted lights and the after masted lights, these all-around lights shall be placed at a horizontal distance of not less than 2 meters from the fore and up center lane of the vessel in the athwartship direction. D is to delta. When only one masted light is prescribed of a power-driven vessel, this light shall be exhibited forward of amidship, except that a vessel is less than 20 meters in length need to exhibit this length forward of amidship, but shall exhibit it is a far forward as practicable. Subsection 4. Details of location, direction, indicating lights for fishing vessels, dead gears and whistle engaged in underwater operation. E is for alpha. The light indicating the direction of the outlying gear from a vessel engaged in fishing as prescribed in Rule 26 Charlie shall be placed at a horizontal distance of not less than 2 meters and not more than 6 meters away from the two all-around red and white lights. These lights shall be placed not higher than the all-around white lights prescribed in Rule 26 Charlie and not lower than the side lights. B is for Bravo. The lights and shapes on a vessel engaged in dredging or underwater operation to indicate obstructed side and the side on which it's safe to pass, as prescribed in Rule 27, and shall be placed at the maximum practical horizontal distance, but in no case less than 2 meters from the lights or shape prescribed in Rule 26 or 27b. In no case shall the upper of these lights or shapes to be at greater height than the lower of the three lights or shapes prescribed in Rule 27 Bravo